PV YouTube and PV Twitch, I imagine. I know YouTube for sure.
Let's see.
What's it?
We are live.
Hell yeah.
That's correct. We're live on YouTube, guys.
We're
We
live
did it.
on YouTube.
So that's fantastic.
YouTube? I agree.
I'm gonna ping everyone everywhere. Get the whole
Everybody
damn...
get your ass in here. Get your ass in here. We're talking to this guy over here.
This
one.
guy.
This guy over here.
Wait, am I on your
I
left
have no
or your
idea if
right?
I'm pointing at you. That way?
There. That way.
So from my that one over
Welcome to the
there.
AMA of Persephone.
Hi. Ask me anything, chat. Anything at all.
Chat.
What is your
Before
favorite
we
type of
officially get
cheese?
started,
My favorite type of cheese?
Yeah, cheese.
That's a really loaded question for an Italian.
This is such high stakes.
It's really high stakes. Okay, so my favorite like hard cheese has to be Pecorino Romano any day. It's got that salt. It can go on anything. Absolutely beautiful cheese. A soft cheese, I do like a good fontina. Which is it's a slightly aged, it has a little tang, and it's cow milk. But I think those are my choices if I'm gonna limit myself to hard cheese and soft cheese.
Persephone, who grilled you on the cheese question before this? That was the most prepared answer I've ever heard. That was so detailed.
Thank you.
She
I do
did
politics.
say Italian.
And if you
just
ask
came out
me
gunning with the cheese question.
if you ask me my favorite pasta, we'd be here for another half hour.
I mean, so my answer to the question is that I am uncultured and basically just get grocery store. I just get grocery store cheddar, and that's what I use on stuff. I'm evil a little bit. I'm trying to get better about it, but
favorite bean, garbanzo.
My worst one is cheese in a can. When I was younger.
Like the spray cheese.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was camping with my father one time, and I ate an entire can of it. And long story short, I was chopping wood. A piece of wood came up, hit me in the eye. I split my eyebrow open, had to go to the emergency room, and they stitched me up. And as I was walking out of the emergency room, I just yacked the entire thing up.
Oh.
Yeah, and so now I can never touch Cheese Whiz again.
Hello, everybody. It's stuck with you that long, huh?
That's not the worst loss, honestly.
I want to see the people that just logged in and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna hear some insightful words from a United States congressional candidate." And I'm like, "I puked in the emergency room as a toddler."
No, like if these AMAs are for anything, it's for not talking about anything actually politics.
Who hasn't puked in an ER? You know,
that is my canvassing experience, like through and through. United States congressional candidates like, "Oh, can you go get my mail at the mailbox for me?" I'm like, "You got it." Like, your Comcast bill looks pretty high.
Only
Can
if you vote.
we cut the cord on this?
If you vote for me, your Comcast bill might go down a little bit. Smile.
I'm like sitting, like programming the Chromecast, like in their living room.
All right. The YouTube says Heath Howard. Who the fuck is that? That was the last guy we did an AMA with, and we did have some trouble with the title of the stream then too, because of we're a very good ship over here. We have no production shortcuts.
Everything is so well run.
We're so good. Jay is doing his best. Everybody, Jay is doing his best. We love
Actually,
Jay
while we're at it, it just now occurs to me that the Pats must be playing because I do hear yelling on the other side of the house. So if you hear that, the Pats are not doing great.
We got 17-13 right now.
Okay, cool.
9 minutes left.
By the way, is it snowing?
Yeah, it was like the most majestic
It's snowing here.
It's snowing there
anymore, but
in beautiful Massachusetts.
Out here in Nebraska, it's cloudless, sunny. Like I think it's literally like 65 degrees outside.
We love you.
It's pretty good.
We were cutting we're doing canvas out here on the 6th, and so we were cutting a video for it, and it was like this most beautiful like light snow, and I was just going like this. I kept on going. We have a video of me just going.
I like the jacket. That's fun.
Oh yeah, all my jackets have an American flag on the back.
Speaking of that canvas event, if people
my jacket has a white dragon on the back.
Speaking of that canvas event, if people want to attend that event on the 6th, you can go to progress.win/canvas. There are 2 S's in there. I found that out the hard way.
And
that'll link you to the...
PB is amazing too. Y'all are boots on the ground, and y'all show up. I love it.
Clip that.
Yeah.
Clip that.
The real ones.
Ben, clip that.
And he's got the dunks.
Well, it's not Cumbies. I wanted Cumbies, but Joey over here. Say hi, Joey.
Thank God.
Oh my God, there's more.
We're working on some other stuff for me, but also wanted to hear the conversation. But yeah, I'm a avid dunks person. Jeremy likes Cumberland Farms, or Cumbies for our local mass holes. But Cumbies. Yeah, I convinced him to go to Duncan today, so I'm very happy about that.
Got my butter cookie something or other.
Interesting.
I'm a sweets guy. Sweets guy.
Smellin, you linked in chat the Mobilize link. Actually link to progress.win/canvas, because then we know how many people we sent there.
Yes.
That is true. They are sharing their Mobilize data with us, so we will get that at the end. But yeah, definitely the link clickies are helpful. And we'll hit on this later, but guys, anyone in any surrounding areas, Holyoke is Western Mass. It's right above Springfield, and it's very accessible if you live in Connecticut or Rhode Island or Vermont. Some areas of Vermont, some areas of New Hampshire, upstate New York. If you want to make the trip, we would be more than happy to see you. And so we have that. We'll be posting that more than a few times. That link, and that's on the 6th of December. A little canvassing for Jeremy Whalen. So if you like what he says today, or if you don't like what he says today, just come anyway. I don't care.
And it's ugly
anyway,
sweater. It's ugly sweater bingo. So we're gonna have canvas bingo, but also ugly sweater, and then we're in the works on this really awesome cafe downtown, and in the works with talking to Bamba de Key, which is like this awesome Puerto Rican drumming circle dance thing. It's wild. But yeah, it's gonna be a nice little event afterwards as well.
Amazing.
Right. Well, let's get started with the real questions.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're gonna put you on the grill. We're gonna grill you for everything you got.
Let's go.
All right.
Do we want to intro real quick? Just across the board.
Tell us. So we are live. We're here. Tell us who you are.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for showing up. My name is Jeremy Whalen. I'm running for United States Congress in Massachusetts Congressional District 1. What is that, may you ask? It is 1/3 of the size of, or the area of Massachusetts, 83 municipalities. It's all of Berkshire County, all of Hampden County, if you're familiar with the area, then sprinkle in a little bit of Franklin and Hampshire and Worcester. That all said, we are in a really interesting part of the state. It's the western and central part. It's not Boston. We do things differently out here. And I was raised out here too. So I was raised in a little town called Belchertown. It was pretty purple. I am very progressive while at the same time. I think I have a good dynamic with a lot of different individuals. I got friends across the political spectrum that are showing up and showing out for me regardless of ideology. They know that I'm a good person that takes care of people. I went to UMass for 3 degrees. I got a bachelor's in history, a master's in education, and I just finished up my doctorate in education.
You call you Dr. Whalen?
He's a doctor.
Oh, yeah. I can barely have my students call me by my last name, so they call me Jeremy. So I never get to flex on the doctorate side. But nonetheless, doctorate in mathematics, science, and learning technologies. And for the last 11 years, I was a high school teacher in the Valley, and I love my classroom. I love my students. I love my community out here. Do a lot of volunteering stuff. And unfortunately, Over the years, it's just been more bullshit after another, and it's just been harder and harder to be a student, to be a youth, and also to just exist, to be honest. And so I just saw the world going in the wrong direction in my classroom, in my community. I said, how did we get here and who allowed this to happen? And the fact of the matter is, kind of corporate infiltration of the political system has just ruined the idea of representation, of a true representation of constituents. And that's what we're dealing with over here. My opponent is percentage-wise the #1 recipient of corporate money in all of Congress. So get a watered-down platform, a lack of visibility, never out in the community, just a ghost, and lack of accountability. And so we're out there with a true grassroots movement. We're knocking doors. We're calling numbers, and we're doing it right. And thank you to PV. It's been amazing from the get-go. See the vision, do the hard work, and what do we stand for? We stand for taxing billionaires and shifting the economics in this country back to the working and middle class. We stand for a Medicare for all system that takes out the corporate greed that we're seeing. We are aligned with restoring, I can't believe I'm saying this as a teacher, restoring the Department of Education, getting universal pre-K services, getting free community college and tuition, and vocational skills trainings, and the Green New Deal. I mean, we got to revisit how we could save this planet and create jobs at the same time. There's a lot of other things in there as well. Calling a genocide, I don't shy away from that. Protecting our LGBTQ plus communities. Unfortunately, I sat in today on a politician that was afraid to say all of these things. We don't have any corporate ties, and we can stand up for what we believe in. I'm out here. I kind of cut through the bullshit, and I tell it like it is, while at the same time standing up for what we need in Western and Central Massachusetts. And I do that with a coalition of awesome people like you. So let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Love that.
So first thing, Jeremy, our events team lead and a mobilization team lead, Frankie says, Jeremy, why are you so cool?
Thank you. Ask my students in I teach 9 through 12, so ask my students the same thing, and they're gonna be like, "What the hell are you talking about? He's so cringe." But I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Frankie.
But they can't vote, so it's fine.
The second question I have, Persephone.
Hi.
What have you done to make Massachusetts in chat so good right now? Because Jeremy was just like, we're doing this, that, the other, and everybody in chat was just like, here's all the relevant images. We prepared everything. What are you doing over there?
So first of all, 90% of that, credit where credit is due to Elemental, our research lead, who is a former student of Jeremy. And she finds every single campaign that we could ever possibly look at under the sun. She gave this one to us and was like, "Hey, we're like literally keeping an eye on this since like before anyone knew anything, because that's our go."
Before it was even announced.
No, literally before, I think before he knew he was running, Elle was like, "Hey, keep an eye on this." So she found us the campaign launch, which is in Belchertown. We could probably talk a little bit about that later, but I went, and Ben, our socials admin, went, and Elle was there too, of course. And like I've been telling everyone, it was like watching a unicorn being born. Just good policy, good candidate, and it was such a pleasure to talk to, just meeting you the first time. So yeah, that's we have a really solid team, I think, in Mass, of really dedicated people. Massachusetts also, I have to say this, I firmly believe greatest state in the union. Just in terms of just in terms of policy, how well we're doing, how we take care of our people. So I think we bring that forward with the Mass team, and I think PV has seen that. But enough about me singing my own praises here. But very much a team effort, and so shout out to my wonderful Mass holes.
Okay. Incredible.
That's it.
All right. My first real question. God, I'm getting blasted by the sun right now. My first real question for Jeremy. Well, there are many issues that I have near and dear to my heart, but if there's an issue that I am like the most about, it is public transit within this United States of ours. Um, kind of a two-parter. Uh, what's the public transit situation in Massachusetts like? Like what's kind of going on over there?
Yeah, so specifically in Western Massachusetts, it's pretty bad. We are geographically stretched out. So we have two major metropolitan areas, but like between that is just a lot of rural areas with very limited access. And so for years, actually decades at this point, we've been talking about east-west rail. And when I say it, it's actually west-east rail. We need high speed to connect Massachusetts and connect the dots to our communities. We need a more robust infrastructure of what is the PVTA, the Pioneer Valley Transit Authority, out here in Massachusetts to provide more routes and more frequent buses. The fact of the matter is, it's really hard to get around out in Western Massachusetts without a car. And then you think about the climate impact that that has and what we can really do to solve this issue. There's other things like expanding our Valley Bike program, which is super awesome, right? It's not just you're creating a kind of carbon neutral solution to this, but you're also having people bike around and get to smaller, more inaccessible communities. And you're also able to look at some of the solutions that, from a federal standpoint, getting money into this and accelerating the process on a lot of the, like I said, the west-east rail. The other part of this is that a lot of countries, and not just developed countries, have solved this riddle already. We're talking about high-speed trains in places like Morocco, for instance. Morocco has a third of our GDP. I actually just got this from a talk that I was at. A third of the GDP of Massachusetts, yet they just solved the issue of high-speed rail. We can do this. We have the resources. We're the #1 richest country in the world. There's absolutely no reason why we can't be connecting, and not only just in Massachusetts, but connecting the larger infrastructure of the United States. So it makes sense from an economic standpoint. It makes sense from a climate standpoint, and we really need to be investing in that infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, my follow-up question was, would you support any efforts to rebuild the Great American Train Network? And I think the answer that you just gave was an astounding yes,
Yeah,
which makes me
rebuild
very
and
happy.
improve, right? We got trains rolling in from, on the same tracks that they were, 150 years ago, right? And so it's not just putting
And
a
half those tracks
Band-Aid
were
on.
removed.
Yeah, what was that?
And half those tracks were removed.
Yes, exactly. So it's really revisioning how we actually look at the connectivity of the larger areas in which we live, and the speed at which we move too, right? Imagine getting from it usually takes in a car about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours to get from one side of Western Mass to Boston, right? Imagine if you had
Depending
the
on the Pike.
ability.
My
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
You
Oh my
seen the
God.
Pike?
So, yeah. So the Pike is our highway out here that connects basically the entire state. Imagine getting that down to 30 minutes on a high speed train, right? That's a game changer. That makes you be able to live and work in a place as beautiful as Western Massachusetts, and also it's a little best kept secret too. I almost don't want tons of people influxing here, but we have so much to offer in being able to connect that with the economic hub of Boston, one of the largest in the world. It's just a win-win situation.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for answering that question. Persephone, you got any personal questions before we move on to audience?
Personal questions. I've actually gotten to know Jeremy pretty well. I was sitting right behind him yesterday at the Friendsgiving, which was wonderful. But
You're like breathing on my neck. You're like,
yeah, for sure. I meant where he is sitting right now. I was behind,
yeah, right there, right there.
in case that wasn't clear. Yeah, but well, I guess Jeremy, I'll throw an easier one at you. What is one of the more exciting things that you're looking forward to in the campaign moving forward? Because we've been doing a lot of, I say we, but you've been doing a lot of, and your team has been doing a lot of upstart stuff, getting things organized, laying the groundwork. But I'm curious if there's anything that, you know, you've not yet sort of gotten really into, or you've only dipped your toes in so far, that you're excited to get into or do more of with the campaign.
Boots on the ground, canvassing, phone banking. And when I say that, it's not just these events, because these events have morphed into something really beautiful. They're community events at this point. You know, we had a Friendsgiving yesterday, and we had hundreds of postcards being made and people laughing around and just having, bringing food, potluck style, talking to each other. And that's a bunch of people that are coming from different walks of life too, and wouldn't necessarily be interacting had they not had something to believe in and a common goal to achieve. And it's just really beautiful to see that. But the biggest thing about that is it's connected to action, right? It's connecting the youth to a kind of older generation. I think that a lot of times young people are written off, especially within the political realm. And I'm like, no, no, no. I've been a teacher. I'm locked into this. I've been tapped into this for over a decade of my teaching experience. Like, don't underestimate the power of organized, young people in this country. And I think that a lot of people are waking up to that within our campaign. And by the thing that's exciting me is showing that and proving it. I say right now that we're in the prove it phase, right? We started this little grassroots operation, and I'm going around, and this teacher is taking on this titan of the political party, this corporate dem, and oh, that's great. Well, now it's time to show up. It's time to get out there. It's time to knock doors. It's time to do this. Actions speak louder than words. And we've been doing that through those events. And I'm just so proud of what we've accomplished. I'm just really excited in the energy that's brought. And I can't wait to just keep that momentum going and just keep on building with it.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're totally right on the never writing off young people sort of thing. Because as someone with experience in education myself, I totally see that the youth are more connected than ever. And never underestimate that stamina. Like, some of our younger members just like run laps around me. Like, I just turned 27. I stubbed my toe. I'm out of commission for 2 weeks. But like, these guys just have like the energy to knock hundreds and hundreds of doors, and it's wild. Absolutely wonderful stuff. And there's hitting on the other thing that you said, there's folks of all ages, and all backgrounds who, were present just yesterday at your event, and I got to meet a good number of them, and they were all so wonderful and so lovely. And yeah, like, not people that you would expect, I guess, to just like walk up to someone and be like, hey, like, what are you about? But absolutely, guys, the stuff that we do here at PV and progressive campaigns, around the country, this stuff feeds the soul. You're gonna meet people that will change your lives. I'm being very serious about that. So it's very, very, very important work. We're happy to be part of it.
I see a question in the chat that I would actually like to answer if I could.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So Luma said, how will you defend disabled people in Congress, including autistic people? And I think that over the course of my life, this has been something that's very near and dear to my heart. One, as an educator, but even before that, I got my bachelor's at UMass, and while I was going to school there, I developed a relationship while working home-based services for a young adult with autism, and that individual became my best friend. And long after I was doing kind of home-based services with him, I still go to Thanksgiving, I still go to Christmas with him. But I think the things that I learned from our relationship over the years was, one, the compassion and the empathy that I have, and also the such strengths that he possesses, that people in it's not necessarily intentional, but it's society kind of writes off individuals with disabilities and individuals with autism in this particular circumstance. I'll give you an example. Like, we would go and, my buddy Gab, he's my best friend. We would go out, we would go to the store, say Target, get something, get in line, and Gavin puts the thing down on the conveyor belt, and it comes up, and the cashier's looking at me like, "Oh, you're gonna do all this." I'm like, "You're talking to the wrong person. I'm not buying anything. You got to talk to Gavin, right?" And so it's like these ideas that that individuals with disabilities or developmental disabilities aren't capable of doing things. It's like, nah, flip the script on that. It's they, productive members of society that have a lot to offer, and we need to be earnestly listening to them. And so when we think about the ways in which we can honor, them as individuals and protect them in Congress, strengthening ADA, accessibility things, providing home-based services for individuals with disabilities and developmental disabilities. My friend Gavin, like I said, we just transitioned into a group home several years ago, and the amount of community that is there is just really heartwarming and really productive for his social engagement, for his kind of progression and development. And so really taking an honest look at that. And also I see with the RFK stuff, RFK can go fuck himself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the amount of damage that he's done with the misinformation is absolutely pathetic. It's not anything that is contributing to the larger scientific school of thought. It puts us back so far, and it also stigmatizes individuals within the developmental disability community. So I got no time for that bullshit. And we need to strengthen our scientific understanding while at the same time be uplifting individuals within these communities, and really truly having them part of our everyday lives. And yeah, I think that we have definitely some work to do. I actually made a documentary when I was in college about a Belchtown State Schools for the Feeble-Minded. It was an institution for individuals with developmental disabilities, and their institutional system in general has this really tragic history. So I know all of that history, and I don't want to repeat that, and I don't want to have that demonization of populations. So we got to be really careful about that, and we got to bring everybody in. So yeah, that's a huge one for me, protecting our disabled and developmental disabled communities.
You see that the CDC website recently got updated to say that vaccines don't cause autism.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Probably a little asterisk, right? In size.
We're bringing disease back.
No. It's not even that. They were like, previously the CDC website said that vaccines don't cause autism, but that's never actually been proven. So gotta love Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his absolute like cretinous, villainous influence on what was previously a well-respected institution.
Yeah, and the dude
it's almost
also
like you can't
stuffed
prove
a
a negative.
bear. The guy also
You know?
stuffed a bear in his trunk and then dumped it in New York.
Like,
there's so much going on. It's just too much.
There's a
and then
lot there.
He was dipping Zinn inside of the meeting, his congressional hearing. It's just like, how am I, we run a really authentic campaign. We're like, oh, will people take us seriously? How will you take that guy seriously? It's unbelievable.
Because his name is
Jake,
the whole thing, probably.
Yep. Yeah, enough with him.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean,
because I don't know how much power the House of Representatives has over those things, but like, if it were possible, would you be willing to like either start or absolutely support some ways to remove some of these cretins from office?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there is on the presidential level, we talk about impeachment. My opponent was tabled the articles for impeachment, but it's stupid. There was a whole bunch of other Democrats that don't have any courage as well. But we need to do a couple of things. We need to really Congress has the purse strings, right? So
Yeah.
we're also losing, just for instance, in Massachusetts, $2.6 billion in federal grant funding was stripped out of Massachusetts. And we are like the brainiacs of the United States over here. We got tons of institutions, world-renowned institutions, particularly in Western Massachusetts too, the 5-college area. And so we need to be investing in the actual legitimate research rather than hearing individuals just spout nonsense on that don't know what they're talking about. But the other part is that we need to really kind of go into the other thing that can happen on the congressional level is investigations and getting to the bottom of a lot of where all of this is coming from. And so those two things are ways that we can hold individuals accountable for what they're saying, but also financially accountable. We could create and generate financial solutions to the problems at hand and illuminate what the actual illuminate actual things that can become solutions on the legislative side.
Very cool.
I was responding to Ellen in chat.
Yeah, I was about to say.
We all like had like this like pause for a second because we were like looking in the chat for a second.
Ellen, we love you. It means good.
I will say, Jeremy, it is a rare treat when one of the people on this stage actually knows what a chat is and reads it. That is a rare treat, and I'm very
wait until you hear
about
his Reddit history, bro. It's nothing like Ben Plattner.
Is it?
Also,
I was about to say, like, are we talking about like some Graham Plattner type stuff? By the way, what's your opinion of Graham Plattner?
So this is what I say about, and I've said this kind of as a motto for years, because I mean I'm 38 years old. I watched the slow train wreck of this party for a long time, right? But what I say usually is Republicans are loyal to a fault and Democrats eat their own. Now, let's go back to Graham Plattner, okay? Graham Plattner hit this meteoric rise to fame with very little time in which to fully vet what was going on. And so anything that the establishment could come after him for, they're going to come after him for. Nazi tattoo? How the hell do you have a Nazi tattoo, bro? Like, how does that even happen? Okay, but the thing that
let me tell you about One Night in Croatia.
Yeah, One Night in Croatia is a bit of Marine.
Yeah,
he was apparently he was a machine gun guy. So
I mean, fuck any Nazi propaganda or anything. The things that stick out to me are this: one, if you have that, you're gonna have to lead with that. That's not something that you would cover up. That would be something that you're open and honest, and you've had a discussion at some point and been like, hey, like everybody just to know, like you want to get out in front of that and be open and honest from the get-go. An authentic way to do, to have that interaction. You don't let that break and you don't try to cover that up and hide that. The other component to this is that if you can look at his track record, right? So if you go through the entirety of his kind of Reddit life history and stuff, I haven't done so. One, you can take accountability, but also you can kind of look at the history and piece together who that actual person is and the trajectory of the progress of that person, right? And I think that there needs to be part of the Democratic ideology is the idea of restorative justice. And I'm not saying that in a kind of like, oh, kumbaya sense or anything like that, but like you gotta be able to hear somebody out and see if they've actually changed and mean it. You just can't hold that perspective historically on somebody in really all other cases. I mean, one of the crazy things about this, and I'm not fully there yet, is like, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like you could see in real time that woman being like, oh, maybe the world wasn't like, it's like the whole world is crumbling around her every time that she talks. But at the same time, I want to have a conversation with Marjorie Taylor Greene because I could see that the wheels are turning in kind of the right direction now. And I'm like, okay, now that you've been a little bit more cognizant of what's going on, let me get a little bit more in there, right? Now, going back to Graham, it's like, I think that atoning and being like, yeah, like I screwed up is super important. While at the same time, you have to be like looking at it from the point of view of like, okay, Janet Mills jumps into the race and all of a sudden, boom, this flashes right then. you know, and then we're looking at this tattoo who I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, okay, you got this horrible fucking tattoo, like, and now you've apologized and you've offered context about this tattoo, right? Let's look at our options, right? We got Susan Collins, we got Janet Mills, and we got Graham Platter, who's you know, like, we got to time to rally behind Graham Platter in my mind. I mean, and also like keep on having that conversation, you know, kind of feel it out, get there, you know, and but that's the problem I think that we have in this country is that like we can't be real, you know. Our campaign is kind of based in this like authentic approach and reality, right? But I don't know if there was somebody within the campaign team for Graham Plattner that was like, oh, we gotta hide and bury this. I will tell you this, I'll peel back the curtain on stuff on me, right? Consultants came in, exploratory phase, soft launch of the campaign. They said, delete all of your social media, go out there and make sure that there's nothing that you can hide. And I just said to him, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I was like, I got nothing to hide. My entire life has been a public school teacher. You know, I was out there, you know, drinking beers in college, but, you know, I'm not out there doing anything, you know, wrong or inappropriate or violent or, you know, or sexist or anything like that. You know, like it's, I'm not going to hide who I am. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to put all the cards on the table because that's the hardest thing to attack. And that's the thing that resonates most with individuals that want to see real, true candidates that are really representing in a human way their needs, right? And so kind of put all that together. I think, one, I'm still Team Plattner. I'm not jumping ship. I think that there's more conversations that we need to have, but he's like there's more of the solution to what we're talking about right now, for sure.
I think it speaks a lot to the problem that when you invite political consultants to talk about jumpstarting your campaign, the first thing they say is, okay, well, how problematic have you been, right? Because that's the kind of people that this sort of thing seems to attract, apparently.
Yeah, and MTG is still a monster, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna get sound clips. It's gonna be like, I really have a good respect for Marjorie Taylor
I want to
Greene.
talk to Marjorie. Yeah, I mean, and that's you know, that's another story. And I have great respect for people who can put that aside and say, you know, I like to have a conversation with her because it is very important. I do want to move on, actually, taking some questions from the chat.
And speaking of chat, my campaign manager, Smelling over here, just totally. This is a picture of me in high school with my friend Pete, who. This is a good story too. I may or may not be the night where we found a stray dog on the side of the road and then proceeded to go like bring it back in this like crazy mission. But this was before cell phones, so like we had to like figure out
from the camera.
It was like we had to figure out what the hell, like where this dog was from in like the dark with no GPS, and we were like, it was an adventure time for sure.
Incredible.
That is fantastic.
So
as I was,
we want to do that one.
What'd you say?
Oh, we have a question from KJ in the chat. Do we want to do that one?
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right. We have a chat. We have a question in chat from KJ Bookman. Since KJ is a dues-paying member, would you like to come up on stage and ask directly?
We can invite you up on stage. Ask directly for dues-paying members only. But do keep them
and
coming.
Massachusetts and people from Massachusetts can also come up.
Oh.
KJ, you want up, or do you want to just?
Massachusetts.
You want me to just read it for you? I'm gonna just hit him with the invite so he can jump up if he wants to.
Let's go, Cage.
There we go.
Little Steve Belushi right there. Is Steve Belushi? Yeah. Blues Brothers.
Oh shit! Now I'm drawing a blank. Was it Steve or was it Jim?
No, Jim Belushi. That's why you're up here. That's why you're on the stage.
First off, thanks for coming out here to speak with us.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Question was, as an educator, what would you do to help public education in Congress? And in general, can you speak to, in your opinion, what's the role of the Department of Education versus state and local school districts?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been a high school teacher for the last 11 years. Both of my parents were educators. Education is one of the top priorities. It's economy, healthcare, and education, and that's not in a list. That those are all the three most important things that we're facing as a nation and as Massachusetts District 1 today. So knowing that, I got the inside game. I know how all of this works, right? And I'll start on the pre-K level. We need a universal pre-K system, because if you talk to individuals, I'm 38. There's a lot of my friends who have gone into having kids, and the amount of your check that goes towards childcare, and you're just grinding for this paycheck, that a lot of the percentage of that is just going to fund somebody else watching your kids, right? And there's other things that you have to think about of kind of social and educational development within those frameworks as well. And if we have a more robust system and a universal acknowledgement that we need to put and address this and prioritize this, then I am 100% for looking at that and implementing that. We have small pockets of that in Western Massachusetts, but we need to expand that on the national front. On the Department of Education, what is the role of the Department of Education? I see it in a couple of ways. One is a funding avenue for looking at how we can support our most needy schools and most vulnerable populations, while at the same time, it needs to give guidance on some protections for our students and for those populations as well. Right? I think that we're seeing this really dangerous rise of Christian nationalism into our schools, with the 10 Commandments on the board and whatnot on the state level. And I really want to, emphasize the fact that we need to think about this on a kind of national front of what that guidance is going to be to protect to protect students on the national side, and also help protect kind of civil rights of students in general. I also saw in the chat, and just going to the state and local. So the vast majority, especially in Massachusetts, but in other places as well, vast majority of funding comes from on the municipal level. Okay, so we're talking about property taxes going towards schooling, and what I'm seeing on the kind of front lines of the municipal communities that I'm that are my constituents they're warring over these pots of money that are dwindling from the federal front, right? And so we're not getting any relief on that. In fact, we're losing billions of dollars, and we're dismantling the Department of Education when we should be, bolstering the amount of funding and supporting our local and state initiatives. And we just see the exact opposite of what should be happening there. And so that role is increasing funding and also increasing the protections of the individuals that are within the public schools. And I specifically mentioned public schools because we also have a war on public schools that comes in voucher systems from the privatization of education and the inequities that come from that privatization. And so I am public schools through and through. I have been a product of them. I have served in the public schools. Public schools are everything, and we need to cherish that fact, and we need to make that more accessible, and we need to make that more equitable for everybody. And then in the chat, I forget who it was, they were talking about standardized testing. We just got rid of the MCAS in Massachusetts. Hell yeah. So
not telling what that is for people who don't know.
I was about to say, like, I know a little bit about the MCAS, but I'm like, I know that's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal.
And so MCAS, standardized testing on the Massachusetts front. Now, we haven't gotten rid of them of taking the test, but what we did was we removed it as a requirement for graduation, right? And that's great. Tying it to graduation does a couple of things. One, it says that a standardized test is the priority measure of understanding what progress is in your academics, which is absolutely false. But it also disenfranchises a lot of individuals where English is a second language. and you think about the ways in which that, you know, these other these populations are impacted by that. And so we are going, in Massachusetts, I think we do a great job at providing models that can be expanded on the national level, right? Everything from the fair share amendment of tax of a surtax on the ultra wealthy to healthcare. We can use these things, and education is one, and the educational models that we've created is one of those things as well. So yeah, huge proponent of anything that's related to education. Needs to be a larger pot of the a larger piece of the overall pie, and we need to be an utmost priority in congressional spending.
And mass leads the way.
Mass leads the way. Number one in education.
That's what I've always said.
And on top of that, why are we so good at education? Because we got strong unions out here too.
Because we're wicked smart.
Stop making me jealous of Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, baby. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, thank you very much,
thank
KJ.
you for thank you, KJ. I do want to take the reins here for a sec, and pivot into international policy. There has been a little bit of discourse in the chat, re-upping what's going on, obviously with the Israeli-Palestine conflict. So every politician's favorite question: what would you do as a congressman regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict? Do you feel that the U.S. has any business providing arms to Israel? Do you feel the U.S. has any business defending the Gaza Strip and defending Palestine? Just go ahead and give us your thoughts on that, because we have a lot of, I know that this is official on your campaign website and all of that, but I think a lot of people would love to hear it right from you.
Yeah, first off, it's a genocide. Let's just get that off. I just watched a politician sit on stage and call it not a genocide. That politician also took AIPAC money. We'll get into it later, but
don't worry about it.
That politician also took AIPAC money, right? That's the situation we live in, right? My opponent has $131,000 in AIPAC money and doesn't have the courage to call a genocide. So straight off the bat, if we cannot say things because we are fearing some sort of consequences by corporate sponsors, that in and of itself is a conversation killer, and I don't have respect for individuals that can't just call a spade a spade. So starting with that, how do you actually look at how address that on the congressional level? Well, Rashida Tlaib and the new resolution that is being put forth, you got to get on that. You have to have a solid coalition of individuals that are acknowledging what is going on, and that's the first step towards an actual solution for peace, right? But, okay, solution for peace, oh my God, like nebulous terms, right? Immediate humanitarian aid, that's number one, right? You got to get food to people that are literally starving to death. The other part is you got to block the Bombs Act. You got to be looking at this from a legislative standpoint of stopping the atrocities from happening and stopping the money going to the Israeli government to let it occur. And so, yeah, I don't want my taxpayers' dollars. Imagine working at Hot Topic and getting your hard-earned money, right?
I could never imagine that.
From my, my past experience working at the mall, right? Imagine busting your ass, you work 40 hours a week, and then the government takes your paycheck in the form of taxes and then uses it to drop bombs on hospitals. Like, how pissed are you when you actually translate that into thought? I don't want my taxpayer dollars going towards atrocities happening overseas, and I certainly don't want it to be representing what we are doing in our relationships with foreign entities. So stop funding the genocide. Also immediate humanitarian effort and aid into Gaza, and also call it a fucking genocide.
Yeah, I mean that's it, like you said,
coming in hot.
Genocide is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
It's like if that acknowledgement isn't even happening, then demons wearing human skin? I don't know. Like
Lizard people.
It feels extremely evil to me. All right. ask another question from chat.
Oh man, I had the chat so far down too.
Yeah.
Ghouls.
Osha.gov, the question that you just posted right now. Do you want to come up on stage and ask that? I will give you a little invite to speak if you want to join.
Bring them on up.
Dues-paying members get to ask questions directly.
Very
All right,
fun.
I've invited you to speak.
Card carrier. Waiting for my card in the mail, but I'm gonna get it.
He's gonna get
it. just razz.
Sorry, my voice is kind of shit right now.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
What's up? Yep, we can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah. So I just had a question. As a congressperson, firstly, what are your thoughts on UBI as a concept? And also, what are your thoughts on like disability payments, or also like how disabled people on benefits are allowed to have more than 2K like at all?
Thanks. So I heard universal basic income in there. Okay. I didn't hear the other part of that.
Sorry. What are your thoughts on like disability money, like how much disabled people can make when they're on benefits, and also on the threshold of how disabled people can only have 2K in their like total like allowance of how much they have, like generally, and how like that forces disabled people benefits basically to be offered.
Yeah. So I have a couple of stories about that. So there was, and I mean, it's well intentioned, but there was a company that I was familiar with out here that they were making kind of seasonings, and they were using individuals with disabilities and developmental disabilities, helping them make the seasonings, and it was at a discounted rate because of the work output. I think that was a little just, it just didn't sit well with me. And I also think that when we talk about disability and the economics thereof, of actually getting your full output of what you're contributing to society in the productivity of the economics of it, I'm just always on the side of workers, on the from a disability standpoint. If you're getting capped because of you're receiving disability and you're not being able to contribute to the larger economic fund, that is a problem. I don't want to limit any workers in that capacity, disabilities or non-disabilities, right? On the topic of universal basic income, we are in such dire straits right now that we got to solve the problem of income before we talk about universal basic income. So what I mean by that is, yes, we should be doing studies and we should be investigating this. There's been some case studies on this as well on the kind of municipal level that I've been kind of tapped into, while at the same time, we need a Medicare for all system that is going to save you money and give you more of an income in general. We need to tax billionaires and lower the income, lower the taxes on the lower and working and middle class in this country, because that's going to put more money in your pocket. The whole idea of the universal basic income is that you have more income to spend, and you, by virtue of already doing those things and getting punished for it, because we have an inequitable tax bracket and tax system and a broken healthcare system, those are the things that we need to first fix, and while at the same time also study universal basic income. I'm not against it. I just think the jury is out right there, and we have to fundamentally fix those things and have people being able to put more money in their pockets from the means of which we're doing first. But I'm definitely not against it. I'll say that. Yeah, thank you for the question, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, friends. We got some more here. While we decide on another question, I actually want to confirm with you, Jeromie. I know we blocked... do you want to go until 4:30?
I'm here. I
Give
got
some time
I got nothing. I got no meetings until later.
until
I'll take
5.
whatever.
So I'm trying to keep you on
I
schedule
did.
here.
I have to get Halloween costumes for a food march I'm doing tomorrow. We're doing 40+ miles food march over 2 days, and we were trying to dress up as Benjamin Franklin, rock for food. Just a little side note. I have to go shop for a Benjamin Franklin costume for a food march. But no, we're good. Yes, we are good.
All right.
Awesome.
If people have any more questions in chat, feel free to ask them, and if we have not answered them, feel free to ask them again.
One was from Luna. There was, are you aware
Oh.
of the genocide in Ukraine, Sudan, Congo, and the Uyghurs? Yeah, I think that I would, as with anything, I want to be more in tuned with what's going on. I think that we have, it's so mind-boggling the situation that we're in when we think about genocide on a global scale, right? People like to think that we're kind of outside of the idea of the era of slavery or genocide. We are not. We're actually at the highest points for some of this stuff globally, and the exploitation is getting worse and worse, and that largely comes from unregulated capitalist markets. And the exploitation of people and the trafficking of people is something that is needing to be addressed on all fronts, and there needs to be a united effort when it comes to being aware of the genocides not only happening in Gaza but all over the world. I think that what happens a lot with these situations in particular is that a terrible event will happen, but then there will be a cultural minimization because of just kind of the ethnocentric emphasis on kind of white culture in America, and we need to be a little bit more proactive of how we address those things. We also need to reinstate U.S. aid and to provide resources around the globe. It's just absolute tragedy that we are getting rid of these vital resources to communities globally, because this is how we win the hearts and minds of the global on the global perspective. The amount that we do good from the standpoint of the United States, that's all being stripped away, and now people are looking at us not as a place in an entity of good, but as a hostile entity around the world. So we definitely need to do a better job at that, and it's just sad. I take students on this service learning trip for the last like 5 or 6 years. We've gone to Central South America. It's a dope program. We build quite literally build bridges and put water main lines in. We do a whole bunch of badass work. And the communities that's the thing that they remember, right? They're showing us the aqueducts that the Peace Corps put in, or the Army Corps of Engineers put in, and all of this hard work around in these small little like towns and villages throughout the world. That's what they remember. I want to be remembered for that as an American, not for dropping bombs on hospitals, right? And so we just gotta have that philanthropic perspective, and we gotta ground that back in empathy worldwide for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jenny, actually, if you could, I'd love to invite Colby up to ask a question.
Colby.
About AI.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a spicy one.
Very fun, very spicy.
Very spicy. All right, come on up, Colby. Massachusetts co-lead.
I think you'll find as well this question sort of goes with UBI, maybe more than you would immediately think, because it's just another facet of automation that's taking more and more jobs. So yeah, I'll let Colby do the asking on this one.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling me up. I'm excited to ask you a question. I've asked you many in person, but it's even more fun to do it online.
While you're sledding down a hill right there, apparently.
Exactly. It was made
Oh,
extra
part of
fun
that mistake?
there was no snow on that hill. It was very painful. If you didn't see the aftermath. But yeah, so your discussion of UBI triggered this question in my mind. I think we've all been watching AI grow over the last couple of years, both in its technological impact, its climate impact, and the way it's kind of shaping the U.S. global economy, or the U.S. economy right now. So I believe we need a lot of regulations on the build out of data centers and the implementation of AI. So I guess this is a broad question about what regulations would you place on AI and the AI industry, specifically related to its environmental impact, its economic impact, and its impact in personal and individual privacy.
Yeah, for sure. And this is just an extension of the problem that we have with the oligarchy, right? This unchecked level of power from the Sam Altmans of the world that just goes undressed, and they think that they can move at these breakneck speeds and break things rather than actually think about the consequences on a societal standpoint. And then just the failure to understand anything from the basics of artificial intelligence and technology from a congressional standpoint is just, it's hard watching them talk about anything from technology. You know, it's like, my opponent is 76 years old. You think that that guy knows how to download an app on his iPhone? Absolutely not. You know, let alone try to untangle the complexities of artificial intelligence and the kind of social emotional impact that it's having on society. From the data standpoint, centers, yeah, that's a huge problem. We've seen, there's a great kind of like little mini documentary I saw on this kind of Amazon data center that just quite literally sucked all of the water out of the region, and people just literally didn't have water anymore. From a global standpoint, the output of these data centers is having an immense impact on kind of the acceleration of the kind of global climate crisis that we're in. And on top of that, it's feeding into a system of unchecked power that these systems are having directly on populations, right? And so this is kind of the stuff that I started saying, you know, hey, we got to be checking on this. This was my side quest in my doctorate. I got the doctorate's in mathematics, science, and learning technologies, and I started looking at actually the positive stuff and how we can address, use these in positive manners within an educational framework, while at the same time, we're just moving way too fast without any guidelines or guardrails, and we need more regulation on the congressional side. We need individuals that understand how this machine learning works, and even what machine learning literally is, because they don't know. We need to also be thinking about how to protect jobs, like you said. I think that we're hitting an era where a couple of things are happening. There is a de-emphasis on the human element of worker output in the country, because we have this large concentration of money from billionaires who, quite frankly, don't give a shit about us in the work output and productivity. So where they can see places where they can slash 20,000 jobs, they jump up and say, yep, hip, hip, hooray, rather than saying, oh, that's a family that can't eat anymore, or a job that can't exist. And so we really need to change on the fundamental level the idea that we know that this is happening. We know that we're on the brink of something big, and we have to be adjusting of ways of how work can support that. It goes back to kind of a couple of things. One is that from an educational standpoint, I think that if we can lock in and we can support artificial intelligence jobs and technology jobs in general, especially in the manufacturing front, that's going to be huge. And we need to really kind of invest in different ways and incentivize that work, because we can have a high-skilled labor workforce that is tuned in to this kind of changing market. The other thing that I'm really scared about is the markets in which we're operating now. NVIDIA has just blown up and Tesla too, on that standpoint. If you look at what their market share is versus the actual output of these companies, the speculative markets are really driving things in a really dangerous way when it comes to the economics of this country right now. And so all that to say, on the congressional front, we need to be more educated. We need to have higher standards for regulation, and we really need to be thinking about this as a breakup of the oligarchy in addressing kind of artificial intelligence within the kind of the frameworks of our country right now. because it's fucking wild, man. It is wild. I cannot believe I built my own computer when I was like 6, right? And I had a dial-up internet that was like, right? And it's like now it's like I'm talking to avatars, and like you can make a song with your voice just from like 5-second snippet, and it's like, what? How do we get here? We got to really be thinking about this in a critical manner and kind of pumping the brakes on some of this as well for the sake of humanity in general.
Awesome. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're as scared as I am. And hopefully we can put you in Congress and you can do something about it.
Yep. This is where we find out that was AI Colby right there. And
oh my god.
I'm actually Richard
oh my god.
Colby
I got
bot
you guys.
2000.
It was
All
me,
right.
Richard
Thanks, y'all.
Neal.
We're twirling the mustache.
Waluigi. Whatever. Okay. Our next question comes from Stefano, who is a Deucepeng member, but has elected to not ask it as they are outside and is windy as heck. I have a question that I'm sure Jeromie would love as a teacher. What books should be required reading for leftists interested in running for office?
That's
What's
some
your
really
Goodreads
good
look
ones.
like?
So the books that first come to the ones that really kind of informed me on the situation at hand right now were actually, and this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm really invested in like the entourage that was around Trump when all of this shit was going down, and how we got to this point, because I think the people that were closest to him give the best insights. And so I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Cohen's book, because Cohen was like talking to him. He was his fixer basically, and for years, like 20 years, it was the first call and last call of the night. And like being that close to him and seeing how we got into this situation is really informed on campaign manager right there from Ellen. That's her book that she loves. But back to Cohen, it shows how the development of how we got here, and it also provides, in my mind, a roadmap of how we get back to, you know, a hijacked population that has we've seen get manipulated by a billionaire in the billionaire class, right? Also, I think it's Mary Trump, his sister, wrote a book that dispels a lot of the myths about what Trump was all about, just even growing up. And I think that kind of humanizes it, where it's like, we know the emperor has no clothes, but he's always worn diapers, and it's like that's
Is that a quote from the book?
Was that? No, I just made that up.
Are you just making that up? Are you live spitting poetry? What the hell?
All right, clip that. Clip that.
Clip that.
Yeah. There's also, and I'm trying to think of her name. I think it's Elizabeth Rosenthal, but it's American Sickness. This is a absolute must. It is why we're in the situation in healthcare that we are in, and it is because of, you know, pharmaceutical companies and the healthcare industry really just getting unchecked throughout this entire thing and just bloating the budget in these kind of shuffling line items that you can't see. And the system that's created, she does a really good job of breaking down the situation at hand from each category of like administrative costs, the rising cost of healthcare workers, but the exploitation of their work, rising drug costs, and it's just really clear on where we're at and how we can get ourselves out of this situation. The other ones that really come to mind, it's gonna sound crazy, but there is a lobbying group called the Patriotic Millionaires, and they are billionaires who say tax us more. Okay. And specifically, there's this book called Tax the Rich, and I think it's Erica Payne and Morris Pearl. This is a roadmap to how we're in a situation where we don't tax the rich and solutions to it. And there's another book by the same organization called Pay People More. And Pay People More is looking at a living wage, not just the minimum wage, but a living wage based off of regional kind of an MIT calculator, and how we can not only get people the bare minimum that they need, but have some for savings, have some for investment in properties in their retirement, and really kind of create a comfortable safety net for the working and middle class. And so putting those are the ones that kind of first come to my mind, and those are the things that kind of really connect to the issues that are the kind of that we're really honed in on.
That was more books than I thought you were going to say. I thought you were gonna maybe have like 2, not like 8.
I was
That's
stressing.
good. That's
I was like, if I got
dang,
that question, I'd be like, 1984.
Of Mice and Men, please.
Oh, Mice and Men.
You
I
see
taught that
the
book in my
Great
undergrad. Good
Gatsby.
times.
the Bearstein Bears. Just start saying children's books. Magna Carta.
Oh God.
Our next question comes from Mateo, who is the Northeast Coalition lead. You might have met him.
They are acquainted.
Matt, do you wanna answer this question yourself? Or do you want to ask this question? Not answer this question. Do you want to ask this question yourself, or shall I do it for you? I ain't seeing nothing. My bad. Oh, can someone ask another question in the meantime? I guess. Okay.
Yes.
Squid. Squid says, I have a question for Whalen. What do you think is a good intro book for kids to get into leftist political thinking, or do you think it's more effective to show progressive media and entertainment?
I don't have anything off the top of my head for kids, and I don't. When we say kids, that's probably a wide swath of ages. But the one that sticks out to me was People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. When I read it in, maybe they still read it in high school. I hope they do. But a specific part of that sticks out to me, which is the conversations that we had like decades after I read it in high school, and that was on Christopher Columbus. And like he starts out this whole chapter on Christopher Columbus of like, yeah, no, he's not a good dude. He chopped off the hands of slaves that weren't producing enough gold. You know, like, and then I'm just like, you know, I'm like playing Xbox and stuff, and like going in and then like reading this before bed. I'm like, what? This is how the world works? And I'm just like, from a history standpoint, I think that it's really important to stick to kind of facts, and just the history in and of itself is really shocking, and you can really enlighten individuals with information. I think that the thing that I'm really, this is where I hesitate as a teacher. I don't get political in my classroom. There's certain things that are non-negotiables, like I got my pride flag up, I got my trans flag up. That's not politics to me. That's just looking out for people.
Hell yeah.
The things that I try to do in the classroom is use the Socratic method of like asking questions and stuff. I don't want kids, kids thought I was a Republican because I had a American flag on the back of my jackets, and I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. Why do you think that? And kind of like lead them in questions. But from a book standpoint of how to get students into progressive thought, I think it's just informing them on history in general. And coming to and having a critical analysis of what we have done in the country, both good and bad, and then what we can improve. I think that we see with the kind of attack from the right, this dismantling of the history, in which is super important to understand, and we should be leaning into that history, and we should be having those tough conversations. We shouldn't be taking out slavery from textbooks because it's a hard thing to think of. It's a hard thing to talk about.
It might make kids feel guilty.
Yeah.
Imagine
that coming from the left, right? How many times would we be called snowflakes if that were to happen on the left, right? It's just like the school of thought is just so.
We all know who the real snowflakes are.
Yeah, it's me out and like spinning like this.
True. It's
you're catching the snowflakes. You're stronger than them.
Exactly. But yeah, no, it's just kids gotta, kids these days gotta get educated, and offering them opportunities is super important, especially when it comes to kind of American history and the kind of lived experience of a lot of different populations.
That reminds me a lot of my experience in high school learning American history, where I had 2 American history classes in high school. The first was the normal American history, which was exactly what you would expect a high schooler to learn in Mississippi. And then the second one was the advanced placement U.S. history, which was everything that you just learned is complete horseshit. Like, there's bits of that are kind of in the right order, but no, the whole time it's like, no, things were way worse than you thought. Things were way worse than you thought. Things were different than you thought. It was crazy.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, it's like the white people and the Native Americans are like giving each other daps over a cornucopia, and it's like, wait, no, they actually gave them smallpox blankets and tried to eradicate them. It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't enjoy it when genocide, personally. It's bad. Although the smallpox blankets was
very brave of you to say.
Yeah, that was like kind of accidentally genocide, because I don't think they meant to kill an entire continent's worth of people.
Well, it's funny.
They meant to kill the people they were looking at, but not the entire continent.
It's funny that you mentioned that, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna fact check myself. In fact, I'm gonna have Joey fact check me right now. But there is it's the irony of it all is there's a low income apartment complex in Belchertown where I grew up called Lord Jeffrey Apartments, and Lord Jeffrey was a white dude that came in and gave smallpox blankets, like knowing that they were smallpox blankets to populations out here. Yeah. That's, and then the dude's name is on an apartment complex. And at Amherst College, there's the Lord Jeffrey Inn. These are the people that we name things after.
And this is in Massachusetts, mind you. Like,
Joey's fact checking me right now. Yeah. Lord Jeffrey's. Yeah. So.
Godspeed.
Yeah. Confirmed. Smallpox blankets.
Sydney, with a critical question. How soon after getting into office will you kiss Donald J. Trump on the lips?
That's a really important question.
That either came from Colby or Colton, because that was we said it like 2 or 3 times yesterday. We were joking that I forget exactly what the context was, but I said I was gonna kiss DJT on the lips, but I didn't say it the 3rd time because I thought it was gonna be like Beetlejuice, like he automatically gets summoned.
It was specifically the discussion of his meeting with Mamdani.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Right, and like how on earth Mamdani came out of that. Like,
no, hold on. Mods delete that.
We're a very serious political organization here, as you can see.
That's why I love y'all.
I do wanna rein it in here. I'll give you a real one. Marge Kitty asks, what are your thoughts on framing the argument for social investment as a constitutional issue? They have us debating who should lose what constitutional rights, but none of our leaders are talking about what investments are needed to defend those rights and democracy. Could that help in a more purple district?
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff that we're seeing is a dismantling of kind of the Constitution from a judicial standpoint. The courts are just so lopsided right now, and it's hard to watch too, because you go back and you look at the legacy of where the chips started to fall, and it was a hijacking from the Republican establishment on a Obama appointee, right? Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland was supposed to be a Supreme Court justice, but it was like, nah, we're gonna wait. We're too close to the election. It's like we're like a year out from election. It's like, what are you doing? So I think that's just a
and then who was it? Barrett gets thrown as fast as she can at the last second of Trump's term.
Yep. And I mean, that's just the problem with the I was talking to a college Democratic organization, and before I went up, they were having like their kind of update meeting, and this kid just goes, "The problem with Democrats is that we're just fucking losers."
Yes, I agree.
I was like,
Jeremy,
"You
that's
just nailed it."
why this exists.
That's why we're here.
Exactly.
That's-
And it's just like it just hit me so hard, and I was just like, yeah, because we allowed, not only did we allow the kind of the Merrick Garland getting held hostage because in like, but we also allowed Amy Coney Barrett to get pushed through. And it's like, at what point do you actually stand up and you're like, I don't want to be Milhouse anymore from The Simpsons, you know? Like you gotta have some like guts to you. You gotta have some courage. You gotta have some bite. And I just haven't seen that on a kind of legislative front. But going back to kind of the constitutional unraveling that we're seeing now, it's the current administration is just running ramshot through everything, right? And it's the classic Steve Bannon flood the zone mentality of like we're gonna throw everything at you, but it's also this kind of like disgusting machismo of like we're gonna do this and we don't even give a shit. But also when you say you don't give a shit, you're trampling on that Constitution. So you need to have those checks and balances there, but we don't have those checks and balances really in a balance right now. So what can you do? Well, you can raise hell. You need leaders that are strong leaders that are understanding that if you actually stand up for what's right and don't just kind of water it down, sitting there with your suit and tie and your corporate shill mentality and your watered down politics, it's like we need solutions right now. And I'm not, and it's different from when a politician says we need solutions. No, we need to get activated, right? And so I think that just answering that question again, we're not seeing that we're getting out of this anytime soon from a protection of our constitutional rights standpoint. But a way that we can combat against that is just mobilization, getting out there. You know, we went to 6 No Kings rallies in Western and Central Massachusetts last time. And what we did was we passed out all of our things. We were like, hey, volunteer, let's go. Canvas, let's go. Phone bank, you know, get some good people in office. I'm in a group chat with like 3 dozen other individuals just like myself across the United States. We need to start thinking and investing in grassroots solutions to the shit that we're seeing, right? And so that's going to get us out of it, because that's how that's what true representation is, and that's what true advocacy is, right? And so I can say that I promise to stand by that, you know. But yeah, we're in a crisis, and the only solution is just getting activated.
Oh, absolutely. Nice. That is the whole reason we're here.
I'm preaching to the choir at TV, man. You all do a damn good job.
I appreciate that. I've been on my I hate the Democrats grind for so long. I want them to be better so bad.
We want it so bad.
I want it so bad.
Yeah.
Our next question, Mateo, for real this time.
Oh yeah. I almost forgot.
Want to jump up here, friend? Ask your question.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't do it before. I was canvassing for Solomon in Jersey City. So
don't you ever apologize for canvassing?
Yeah.
Don't you ever?
Sorry, I was busy being based.
I was busy being cool.
You're not allowed to be up here anymore.
Get him off.
Get out of here. Get him off the stage. Comedic cane to bring his neck and bring him off.
No.
But anyway, my apologies.
No. Yeah, back to the question. I have to scroll all the way up. My bad. Can you?
Mex is correct in chat, like New Jerseyan, but new is pulled out.
Here we go. I got it. What was the process you went through in starting your campaign, and what advice would you give someone planning on running for office someday and going into politics? Because that's what I want to do someday.
Oh boy, I love this one. I love getting.
Yeah.
My Ellen is gonna yell at me because I say I'm using the word meta, but I love getting behind the curtain on all this stuff. I came from outside of politics, obviously. High school teacher for 11 years. Don't know the ins and outs of the political process or the political machine. And my first call was to a friend who was working tangentially to another individual that ran 2 cycles ago. And so I had a kind of side stage seat to how everything operated. By no means behind in on the day-to-day or like the technical stuff, but I called him up because he did, and I said, I'm thinking about doing this, and he goes, don't. He goes, don't. It's going to ruin your life. It's going to be the worst experience that you've ever had. It's going to suck the soul out of your body. But if you do, here are your timelines. Here are the people that you need to bring in. Here's the money that you have to raise. Here are the things and expectations that you need as a candidate. And here is the roadmap to what to do and don't. And so he kind of took me through this, and I'm like checking the boxes, like, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I would probably change that. And that started in March, April, right? And from there, the nice thing about this is that because I'm coming from outside of politics, the core of what we've created is really, truly an authentic collaboration between people who give a shit. Right. And so my campaign manager, my field director, my communications team, our kitchen cabinet, our volunteers, everyone is coming from the assumption that we need to change the system fundamentally, and we need to do it together. And they put a lot of hard work and effort and time and commitment into it. And I'm really grateful for that. And we also vibe, right? I don't have somebody that's like, oh, you're, like your son got an internship at my thing, and so he needs to be on your team. It's like, no, we get to create it from scratch. And the other part of that is that in doing so, we created our kind of our core team that took several months. We hit a soft launch. Unfortunately, my mother was going through some health stuff, so we had to kind of prolong our official launch. But in doing so, in those first several months, it was, and it still is to this point, relationship building, right? Especially as a no-name candidate. So I was going out to any and every event and making meaningful relationships around the district on the local level. I cannot emphasize that enough. What I see as a blind spot for a lot of candidates right now is that if you're doing this on the state or federal level, or especially on the federal level, you start flaring out to a national dialogue when you should be investing in the communities around you, talking to your constituents, and really truly understanding what's going on the local level, because then you can connect the dots from the federal level. Oh, you have individuals that are getting abducted off the streets of your city. Fuck ICE, abolish it, right? We gotta get those national individuals that are terrorizing our communities out of our communities, right? You are strapped as a school system and not being able to pay teachers a fair wage and collective bargaining with these unions. Well, maybe we need some support from the federal level and an investment in education, right? And so it's knowing all of your little municipalities piece by piece, the 83 municipalities in my district. I'm going to every single one of them, learning what their needs are, their specific needs, and then connecting it to a national stage. And so that right there was like the precursor to launch, and that's huge on our launch. We get to everything. We get 5-6 different events a day, because showing up for your community really matters. And what that's done is it spurred emphasis on volunteers as well. So we're this little like mom and pop shop of a grassroots organization when it comes to finances, but we are a lion when it comes to volunteers and grassroots actual mobilization. We're rolling out 30 deep on a canvas in Springfield that's never seen the likes of it in the major metropolitan city. Yep. And thank you, PV, for showing up.
I didn't know it was 30. I didn't know it was 30.
30 peeps in Springfield. That's never happened ever in the history of Springfield, right?
How many doors
We're
did
trying
you
to
knock?
get, what was that?
How many doors did you knock?
We got like 550, and we had like 125 conversations. It was super dope.
Massachusetts, baby.
Yes, that's what we do. That's Massachusetts,
that's
right?
That's the best state in the union.
Exactly. And our next one's gonna have 50 plus. We're gonna be rolling 50 deep in a place that probably has never seen 5 or 10, right? On the national standpoint, because my opponent would never knock doors. He takes corporate money, plasters advertisements on the local media, and calls it a day, right? And so just getting back to the kind of campaign and the originations, the other emphasis that we kind of have put on things is not only just the relational, but the investment into the like I said, the local politics, like really understanding the city councilors, school committee members, the nonprofit organizers, the progressive groups that are around. So my entire Rolodex is just, you know, all these authentic relationships that we've been making with people. But it all kind of sideswipes a larger national narrative. Because once you hit that larger national narrative, I will talk all day. I'll talk for another hour on national topics, while at the same time, I'm going to emphasize the local stuff because that shows that I care about the communities in which I represent, right? So if you are seeing this and hearing this, I mean, Massachusetts, I'm preaching to the choir. Y'all come out in spades. But if you want to get involved, like that's what we're doing over here, and that's like that's the big thing. This grassroots stuff, the grassroots stuff that we're making is true grassroots, and that's what it actually takes, and it's just building that more and more.
Thank you very much. All right, Matt, your question's been answered.
Oh no,
Now
I'm being
get
sent
out
to
of
the pit
here.
again.
Fuck,
Oh no.
get this
Oh
piece
no.
of butter!
New
Oh
Jersey,
my God, feet for free?
I'm getting
Hey, they're socked over here, okay? Persephone, simmer down there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Uh,
Anyway, I do want to
we
bring in
are-
a fellow masshole from the mass team for one more here.
Yeah, because we are hitting that bottom of the hour, and if we do not end then, our producer will throttle me. So
Yeah, we're hitting the buck 30. So just give me one more here. I wanna throw Ben on the stage if we can.
yeah, Kiana, it's right. She did
Throw
call
'em
them
on.
massholes. She
Yeah,
did do that.
that's I'm not kidding you. Every single weekly state ping starts with "Good morning, massholes. Your weekly
Yeah.
meeting is tonight at
Good morning,
6:30
massholes. Big
in
toothy
DC3."
grin.
Also, Mateo, I'm going to add
Yeah.
one more thing to behind the
Oh,
scenes
I
on
need
a
to
good.
bring up Matt. Oops, or not Matt.
Thank you, Kiri.
Ben. There we go. Okay.
There you go. Only
And
you
as
have
we
the
wait to
power.
that, I'll show one more behind the scenes thing on a true grassroots campaign that cares. Joey just went and got me a water right here. Just preemptively got me a water right there. Right?
We had to get him some
That's
water.
that right there. Love you, Joey.
Thank you, Joey.
We need to make sure he's hydrated so that he doesn't bring his feet up to the camera. He's starting to
Starting to scare people a little bit.
Ben, this is
I
like
love how there's just like inside jokes that are leaking out into the street.
I
right
know.
now.
And there's
Like,
one
this
more
is
right there
crazy.
too. This is like the Spider-Man meme where I'm pointing at Ben and he's pointing at me because Ben put his name tag on me yesterday, and I was walking around for like an hour and a half with a Ben name tag at my own campaign party.
I did notice that. I didn't want to say anything.
As a politician, your name means everything, and Ben's
Yep.
trying to steal your stuff.
And then at one point he ripped it off and put a Whalen for Congress sticker on. And I still didn't know that he did that. So
The
he's
day I
violated me
lost my
multiple times
identity.
yesterday.
How? Okay, I'm not even gonna ask how. Okay, ask your question.
All right.
Go for it, Ben.
I'm very proud that this campaign does not shy away from taking hardline stances. And to further elaborate on that, I want to ask you, what's one group or demographic that is going to be disappointed in your victory, and why would you be okay with that disappointment?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yep, Dunkin' Donuts, because I'm a Cumberland Farms guy.
No. He didn't mean it. Mass one, he didn't mean it.
That's the soundbite. The most obvious group is the ultra wealthy. You know, faceless corporations. Fuck them. They don't care about us at all. I'll give you an example of in district, right? Pittsfield. I love Pittsfield. It's a amazing city in the Berkshires out here. GE was the big company that came in. There was tons of jobs. Manufacturing was booming. The minute that they saw they could save $1 for their shareholders, they bounced and they left in its wake this economic depression that they're still trying to get out of. Right? Corporations don't care about us. Period. Full stop. Right? Ultra billionaires need to be taxed more, because they don't ever see that in their bank accounts. You know, we're sitting here, and I try to tell people this all the time. You are way closer to financial ruin than you are to being a billionaire, right? And we got to band together. We have to say that enough is enough. The working and middle class are getting screwed here. We need to have more money in our pockets. We need to be healthier, and we need to hold those that have taken that 1% that owns 30% of the wealth in this nation. That's disgusting. That is unprecedented. That needs to go. And so we really need to shift the minds there. And unfortunately, I don't think that the uber wealthy are really down with that. So I think I think that they're gonna have to reconcile that fact, though. But
they're gonna
and
have
honestly,
to.
yeah. And with the unfortunately like a big vacuum, or when there's a big vacuum of like a big company like that, it can create a problem. But it does it does, given the right kinds of policies and incentive structures in a community, it does have the opportunity for smaller people to open up a little shop saying like, hi, I like rent the second story of a little office building and I make signs for other businesses, and I just kind of do that, and I make a meager and modest living doing it. But with the big corporation in town, that kind of thing just doesn't exist. You don't have like Jim's funny little signs that are all like really fun and you like them and you know that your friend down the street made them.
yeah, and 46% of our economy is small businesses. Like, we could put all of our efforts into the individuals that are on the ground taking care of others. Like, when you have a business of 10 people, you are thinking about their well-being. When you are a CEO that's making tens of millions of dollars and you're thinking about cost-cutting measures, you're not thinking about the people, and you're so far removed from the existence and the lived experience and the kind of financial situations where you're at. Like I said, you start to applaud the idea that that those cost-cutting measures are actually impacting lives, right? So I got no time for individuals that are not looking out for the best interests of the working and middle class. So we gonna change that.
Yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, if people want to aid in the change making of Dr. Jeromie Whalen, as we discovered
Dr.
today.
Jeromie Whalen.
Doctor.
Oh
PhD.
boy. Wait, Joey's going to get something too. This it's gonna be like the mic drop of the day. But Dr.
Shit.
Jeromie Whalen.
Oh, the degree? Do we got the
Emmy
degree?
award-winning Dr. Jeromie Whalen. Yeah, you see that?
He did win an
Literal name.
Emmy, guys. This is a
Literal name
true,
on it.
real Emmy.
I won this with a crew of students on a budget of $0 against multi-million-dollar media corporations. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's for part 2, okay? We're gonna have to set up part 2.
Next
Part 2.
time.
I'm excited for part 2. When can we do it? Now?
Yeah,
no, we
let's
can't
go.
do it now.
Yeah.
Jay will kill me.
3 more hours, everybody.
Yeah, if anybody wants to support Jeromie Whalen, feel free to go to progress.win/canvas. 2 S's on that one, by the way.
Yeah.
That'll let us know exactly how many people we were able to that'll let us know how many people we managed to send over there, and so we can kind of throw around some numbers here and there. If you're interested in supporting the work that Progressive Victory is able to do with sending out people to support campaigns like Jeremy's or other campaigns that we have both in the past and coming down the line, please become a dues-paying member. It's the lowest tier is $5 a month. $5 a month. Dues-paying members make this org work. We are very close to being able to actually pay somebody to be on PV full time. Thank you for showing the membership card. Hold on.
Let's go, Ben.
Jeremy, wait, I don't. My membership card's across the room, so I'm not gonna go grab it. But it's a really good card. You get a card if you do it. It's really nice.
Promo.
But please become a dues-paying member. You can go to the Become a Member channel that everybody's linking, and you can start at $5 a month. Make sure to do it through the Act Blue website and not through the Discord, because Discord takes like a weird cut.
Oh man, that's a Lost Carcosa right there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's beautiful.
All right.
I do want to add for my New England folks, my bordering states, I love you as your unofficial New England coalition lead.
Whoa.
Please pay attention to this campaign. We have events ongoing. What I will say, I'm gonna shill once more here for Jeremy, and I hope Ellen is listening and you can post the mobilize in the chat. This week we
Harvesting on
have
such canvas.
phone banking on Tuesday for Jeromie Whalen. So if you're listening and you're not local, do check that out. We have that on Tuesday. This Tuesday, this week. Obviously, we do Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we're not doing Thursday because hey, that's Thanksgiving. So do check that out on Tuesday. I believe it's from 6 to 8.
6 to 8, yeah.
Perfect. And folks, bordering states, keep an eye on this campaign. We're doing December 6th in Holyoke. I'm going to be plastering that event all over your state chats, whether you like it or not. Consider coming by. If rides are a problem, reach out. We'll figure it out. We want to see you there. We want a big show for this. Because I mean, you just heard Jeromie Whalen talk to us for over an hour and a half. If you're not sold on him by now, I don't know, but we love this guy and we want to give back what he's given to us here by being with us here today.
And I'll say this too. As a candidate, you have to talk to a lot of organizations. There's questionnaires, there's endorsement, interviews, all this stuff. The people that immediately showed up was PV. People with boots on the ground. Not just waiting and talking and everything. Immediately when we needed you, you rolled up and you started. You show you care about democracy in the best possible way. There's a lot of people that talk the talk, but it's a different thing to walk the walk, and PV has just been amazing. So much love to you all. This is an amazing organization. I'm proud to be a card-carrying member myself. When that card comes in,
we're working on it.
Come on,
Benjamin.
We're figuring out whether to put confetti in it or not. So just give us.
Yeah. But for real, y'all, you are amazing. You do amazing work, and keep on it. This is an awesome organization.
Thank you so much, Jeromie. That means the world to me. I know it means the world to pretty much everyone in here. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you everybody on the YouTube live for watching. And have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody.